So the NFL draft is coming up starting Thursday night, April the 24th. And today we're going to center our focus on what is one of the more interesting picks of the first round of the draft. And that is the number 9 overall selection held by the Saints of New Orleans. A lot of talk surrounding this pick. Nationally, it's been the most talked about draft pick the Saints have held in quite a while, and much of that is because of whose son the Saints may draft, but more on that later. Briefly recapping the Saints offseason, they hired Kellen Moore as head coach after the Super Bowl. They re-signed Chase Young, which I didn't mind. They signed free agent safety Justin Reed, which I liked. They gave tight end Juwan Johnson $30 million, which I hated. And they decided to restructure quarterback Derek Carr, bringing him back, seemingly, as quarterback for this coming season, while creating another kick-the-can-down-the-road scenario that'll cost the Saints $60 million if they want to cut Derek Carr after the 26th season. If they want to cut him then. So it's basically been your classic Mickey Loomis offseason with a coaching hire thrown in. Those are getting more frequent now. Mickey Loomis is the Saints general manager, by the way. And now we're heading into what could be another classic Mickey Loomis draft. And what's a classic Mickey Loomis draft, you might ask? That will be a draft in which New Orleans, at some point, likely in the first 3 rounds, ever so predictably, will bundle multiple picks together and trade them in order to move up, and then they'll move up with less draft capital now and then pick some project defensive end with a quick first step from Northwestern Montana Polytech State A&M that they could have gotten around later, and that player will go on to be out of the league in 4 years, having received generational wealth courtesy of Gail Benson's checkbook. That is a classic Mickey Loomis draft. But this year, I don't know. This year feels different. It's big. Like this draft, I don't know. It's certainly big as in important. As most of you know, the Saints quarterback situation took a turn recently with the revelation that New Orleans apparently has a banged up car in the garage. That's right. The franchise quarterback, the $150 million restructured man, turns out it's dealing with an injury that has lingered since the 23 season. Strange nobody heard about it till the Saints restructured his contract. Now, I'm not suggesting he's faking the injury because he doesn't want to be a bridge quarterback and he doesn't want to be here anymore, like a lot of others are suggesting. But I just wish the Saints wouldn't put themselves in these situations. They restructured him just to bring him back for 1 year. It just seems like the Saints, because of their ongoing salary cap situation, are always in the position of having to rely on players agreeing to restructure. Carr refused a pay cut, and now the Saints are in a tough spot yet again. Loomising is so much fun, isn't it? It's kind of like riding a roller coaster that you just don't know if you're ever going to get off. As of this recording, we don't know for sure, but as for the purposes of this segment, we'll assume that Carr will not be available for the Saints this year. And to set things up, heading into this draft, the Saints have Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener at quarterback. It ain't going to be Haener unless everybody else is hurt. On offense, they have a promising young left tackle in Taliese Fuaga, other parts to work with on the interior offensive line. They have 2 small, fast, deep threat wide receivers and an aging Alvin Kamara. Overall, they have needs at cornerback, unless they land Jalen Ramsey before the draft, tight end, running back, and they desperately need a big physical target in the passing game. Could use another tackle, too, offensive, and another edge, and more depth across the offensive line. They could basically use help anywhere, at any position, really. This roster is not as good as Mickey Loomis thinks it is. The Saints have the number 9 pick in the draft, the 40th pick in the draft, and 7 other picks. So all that taken into consideration, what do they do at number 9? Well, what they should do and what they're going to do might be 2 different things, unfortunately. Now, all the chatter and the national attention the Saints are receiving surrounding their pick is due to the fact that many draft analysts and national media geeks think that Shedeur Sanders is a very realistic option as well as a good fit for the Saints at number 9. The former Colorado quarterback, as most know, is the son of Buffalo's head coach and former NFL great Deion Sanders. Most analysts rate him as the number 2 quarterback in this draft behind Cam Ward. Of course, many of those same draft experts also claim that this year's draft class is substandard. Quarterback draft class is substandard in terms of top-end talent. The Saints, now with Carr likely out, need a quarterback. Do they take Sanders at 9? Very possible. It's a very real possibility. I think New Orleans could very well end up with Shedeur Sanders. Look, they're in need of not only a quarterback, but they're in need of a face of the franchise. They haven't had one since Breeze retired. They're not going to sign a big free agent quarterback again. They've got one. His name's Derek Carr, the $150 million man. The salary cap will not allow for another, so the draft is basically the Saints' best option for landing a QB. And with Kellen Moore being a former quarterback himself and a quarterback coach by trade, in as head coach, he's probably going to want to bring in his own young guy and coach him up. So while we're here, let's take a look deeper at Shedeur Sanders, the prospect, as a potential number 9 overall pick to New Orleans. Sanders is described as the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft, and that is very much the truth. He's about as good as he's going to get. His best attributes are his ability to read defenses and his ability to improvise and hit open receivers downfield when plays break down. But in addition to that, he's kind of short for the position. Below average height for sure. His arm is average at best. Maybe below average for an NFL starter. He's not going to zip the ball into tight windows. He got away with a lot of throws in college he's not going to get away with against NFL DBs. He doesn't run. He moves around well within the pocket, but he doesn't have the burst to just tuck the ball, take off, and give you big plays with his legs. Sure, you can say, well, he's a drop back passer, but this is the 9th overall pick, and this is in this modern version of the NFL in 2025, I'd like for my top 10 pick quarterback to be able to run a little bit. Despite his limitations, I still think the Saints taking Sanders at number 9 is highly possible. Need a quarterback. Could also be looking at Jackson Dart of Ole Miss. That would be an enormous reach at number 9, but he won't be there at 40. I think it's a reach to take Shedeur at number 9. But now let's talk about what should the Saints do. And gosh, that just seems like it just opens up an entirely different universe from what they will do. Mickey Loomis. Sonny Weaver from Draft Day, he ain't. Y'all seen Draft Day, the movie? For any Saints fan out there wishing for that moment when Mickey Loomis fleeces another team and works over another GM and pulls off a draft day coup, well, you'll just have to keep watching that movie to get your fix, because ain't none of that right there from that movie happening inside the offices at 5800 Airline Drive in Metairie. Ain't going to be no, I want all my picks back and I want David Putney because I feel like it. If you know, you know. Maybe Mickey will prove me wrong in this draft and hold on to and make all of his picks for once. Because if there was a year the Saints needed to hold on to and make all of their picks, it's this one. So I believe they should pass on Sanders at quarterback at 9 overall, address another position there, and then make all your other picks. The only scenario in which you should package picks to move up would be to do it to get back late into the first round to take a quarterback only. I wouldn't mind New Orleans trading back out of the number 9 overall spot and getting more picks. Get 10 picks, 11 picks. The Saints need to find starters in this draft. Multiple starters. 3 or 4 of them at least. No matter what round you get them in, it's just what you need right now. At quarterback, you can just play Spencer Rattler this season. Sign a veteran to pair with him on a 1-year deal. Hell, bring back the Red Rifle for a year. Play Taysom when he comes back. Draft a quarterback with one of your many other picks. Just not Sanders or Dart at 9. But no matter what, the Saints need to bring in young talent through this draft. And they need to get a higher percentage of their roster on rookie contracts. Get in better shape salary cap-wise this year. I'm not using the word tank. I'm just saying pass on the unathletic quarterback at number 9 overall. Fill out your roster with younger talent. Get your franchise quarterback next year in a much deeper, better quarterback draft class. It gives you a chance to get a better quarterback than Sanders, playing with a better roster than Sanders would be playing with this year if he was the guy. You just have to be patient and wait a year. Want to call that tanking? Whatever. But back to the central focus. If not a quarterback, who do the Saints take at number 9? Number of ways you could go here and come out winners because there are a number of good players here that could improve your team and fill needs. Number 1, for me, Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. He'd be my pick if I was running the show and he was available at number 9. Saints need a big physical passing game target. Who says it has to be a wide receiver? This guy would fill that need, frankly, better than some of the big wideouts in this draft. Another thumbs up for me would be Will Johnson, Michigan cornerback. Very good cover man. Could be a Marshawn Lattimore type player. Fits that mold athletically. Wouldn't be mad at all at Will Johnson. And I may get some pushback on this one, but another good pick at 9 would be Boise running back Ashton Jeanty. I've changed my mind on this guy recently. This may be high for a running back in this spot, but he has serious burst. Head and shoulders, best running back in this draft class. And I could see Kellen Moore, Boise alum, an offensive mind that he is, having a lot of fun scheming this guy into his offense. And the Saints need playmakers. They need guys who can put the ball in the end zone. They don't have many of those. I'd also be happy with an offensive tackle here. You really can't have too many as long as they're, good. It's the key there. A lot of directions New Orleans could go in here, but they need to hit on this pick. I know that. The New Orleans Saints are at a crucial juncture. And whatever they do with that number 9 pick, that decision is going to have a lasting impact on this franchise. Good or bad, for years to come. I hope they pass on the unathletic quarterback, get multiple starters through this draft, build for the future, get your franchise quarterback next year from a much better quarterback draft class. Follow me for more recipes. Mickey Loomis thinks I'm the stupidest man alive. We love Mickey Loomis here at Bayou Football. Subscribe to the podcast, Mickey. Y'all subscribe too. Please do like and do subscribe. For Arthur, the Bayou Party Dog, I'm Ruddy Rutledge. He is a real good boy, and this is some Bayou Football.